نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين.
وطه الحبيب وطه الحبيب وطه الحبيب وطه الحبيب وطه الحبيب حبيب الرحمن.
سلام سلام أنت يا الله هذا السلام لعباد الله.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وعملا متقبلا يا أرحم الراحمين. We continue inshallah in the adhkar that we plan to learn. In every halqa inshallah we will learn one of the adhkar that our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to say all in all of our times. We know that there are specific adhkar when you enter the masjid, when you wake up, when you go to bed. So the Muslim should learn them and say them regularly, and more importantly understand them and reflect upon them, because dhikr is something very important that we always need to be aware of and to repeat all the time inshallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you that you made some dhikr now before we start, and this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's tawfiq and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing that you can sit for some time and dedicate your heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahi, believe me, this is something not every Muslim does. Many Muslims, they think dhikr is just to say subhanallah, 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 alhamdulillah, 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 khalas. That's it. No, that's only part of the dhikr. That's only part of the dhikr. The main and the most effective dhikr is the dhikr that enlightens the heart, or that makes the heart reflect and be in compliance with the tongue. So you have the tongue and the heart together. Not only words you repeat with your tongue. As the scholars of Islam mentioned, that dhikr, the main purpose of dhikr is to remember. How do you remember? Do you remember by your tongue or by your heart? Or by your soul? By your heart means by your soul. So the dhikr, it's not only by the tongue. No, the tongue only translates what's in the heart. So the tongue is just the tongue only expresses what you have in your heart. And this is mentioned in the hadith of our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he said that of the people who will be provided with shade on the day of judgment, someone who sat to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in seclusion. رَجُلٌ ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَالِيًا, someone who sat to remember Allah by himself, means just between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ. So when we say you sit and you feel your heart beating the name Allah, 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 and you reflect on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings and bounties over you, and you reflect on your sins, when you have these feelings and this thinking, then maybe you will shed some tears. But if you're just saying some words of dhikr without reflection, how will you shed some tears? How will you have khushu'? How will you have understanding? Absolutely you will not have. And we mentioned that this idea is mentioned in the hadith of Sayyidul Istighfar, when our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us the master form of istighfar, and of that form he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you say أبوء لك بنعمتك علي وأبوء بذنبي فاغفر لي فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. Oh Allah, I acknowledge your favors and your bounties and your blessings upon me, and I admit my sins. SubhanAllah. So when you sit and you reflect on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's greatness and majesty and blessings and the signs that He spread around, and at the same time you think how little you are, how negligent you are before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much or how many sins you're doing, and you're being ungrateful to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. This feeling, this thinking will make you have khushu' and will make your heart tremble and humble before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then maybe you will shed some tears. And when you shed one tear, that tear will protect you from the hellfire. As our beloved said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that two eyes will never be touched by the hellfire. Of them is an eye that weeps or cry out of the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to achieve that. So that's also one dhikr. There's another, the other type of dhikr, the oral adhkar that our beloved sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us. And also these adhkar that we're learning in the beginning of every halqa, inshallah, we will learn one of these adhkar. Until we know, inshallah, in every movement there is a dhikr that our beloved sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us. Even when you look at the mirror, there is a dhikr. When you look at the mirror, you say, Allahumma kama ahsanta khalqi hassan khuluqi. Oh Allah, as you perfected my shape, perfect my character, perfect my morals. This is authentic hadith. So in every movement there is a dhikr. So we need to learn them, inshallah. And every halqa, inshallah, in the beginning we will learn one of those blessed adhkar, inshallah. And I hope you take the notes and learn them so that you memorize them. If you just say them for 10 days or 20 days, then you will memorize them and you will say them by heart. And most importantly, as we mentioned, is reflect on them. And this hadith or this dhikr that we're going to take today, inshallah, narrated by Imam Muslim, and it has relation to the topic that we're going to start, inshallah. The topic that we're going to start, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps us, is the stories of the prophets alayhim salatu wassalam. And the stories of the prophets are very, very amazing means for us to be steadfast on the way of Islam and to find remedies and to find solutions for our problems and to find consolation for our calamities. The stories of the prophets have a great benefits. Inshallah, we'll try to start this journey with the best of creatures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ever created, the prophets alayhim salatu wassalam. And the prophets alayhim salatu wassalam, yes, they're prophets, but they're humans at the same time. And this is why we need to take the lessons from them. If they're angels, we could have said, oh, they're angels, they're only created to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're not like us. But the prophets alayhim salatu wassalam, they're like us. They eat, they drink, they get sick, they have some diseases, there are some diseases they don't get, of course, as we will mention inshallah in their characteristics later on when we talk about the characteristics of the prophets that a Muslim should believe. But they have most of the human characteristics that we have. They have some specialties, some special characteristics, but in general they're humans, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran. They're the best of humans, but still they're humans. So this is why we need to learn from them. And we can follow their footsteps, alayhim salatu wassalam. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send an angel so that we can follow, because we cannot bear seeing the angels. So before we start and get into, inshallah, this journey of the stories of the prophets alayhim salatu wassalam, let's take this nice dhikr which has also relation to what we're going to talk about, because today we will start with not the first prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, but we're going to start before Sayyidina Adam. We're going to start from the beginning. From the beginning, the very beginning. How the creation started. And this is, as we will see inshallah, this is very important topic. So let's get right away to the dhikr, inshallah, then we will go to that topic. This hadith narrated by Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when one of you goes to his bed, should say, or he sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he goes to his bed, he would say, so he's teaching us sallallahu alayhi wasallam what to say when we go to our bed. Allahumma رب السماوات ورب الأرض ورب العرش العظيم ربنا ورب كل شيء فالق الحب والنوى ومنزل التوراة والإنجيل والفرقان. Allahumma means Ya Allah, means O Allah. رب السماوات ورب الأرض. Rabb means the cherisher, the creator. First the creator, the cherisher, the fosterer, the sustainer, the maintainer of everything. This is the Rabb. The Rabb is the one who raised you up. Since you are in your mother's womb, who takes care of you and who raise you up bit by bit, day by day, month by month? Who? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He's Al-Murabbi. He's Al-Murabbi. So He raises you up. He takes care of you. When you're in your mother's womb, when you're out, before, after, all the time. He is the Rabb. Not only of you, of everything. As He says here, as the Prophet ﷺ tells us here, وَرَبَّ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. You are the Rabb of everything. Because He is the one who created everything and takes care of everything and sustains everything. Nothing can live and continue in his or her or its life except by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power and help and permission. So He's the sustainer and the maintainer subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the provider, and the one who takes care of everything. Everything. This is the Rabb subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why He's the only one who deserves our complete and unconditional worship and obedience. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma Rabba. So this is the Lord Rabb. This is the word Rabb. Lord of the heavens and the earth. Lord of the magnificent throne. And we will talk a little bit about the throne inshallah as we move on. Rabbana wa Rabba kulli shay. Means you are our Lord and the Lord of everything. فالق الحب والنوى. فالق الحب والنوى. You are the one who splits the grains and make them sprout and make them grow. And you're the one who split the fruit stones and make them grow. When you plant the seed, this seed of wheat or any type of plants or grains, who make it split and grow? You just dig it, you just put it under the soil. Who splits it and make it grow? From this very small seed, you have a huge tree. Who makes this? Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. As He mentions this in the Quran, right? Inna Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. Where is that? Surat Al-An'am. Inna Allah faliqul habbi wan nawa. It is Allah who splits and sprouts the grains and the fruit stones. You understand the difference? We have the grains or seeds like the wheat and the barley, right? and the other these types of plants, and we have fruits and vegetables from there, like you have the apricot, the orange, the grapefruit, etc., etc. So these ones, you see, like the date also. So they have stones, right? Not like the seeds of the grains. So he is the one who splits both and who let both grow, subhanahu wa ta'ala. فالق الحب والنوى. So he is رب الفلق. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. الفلق is everything that splits and comes out of something. Comes out of something. And the main tafsir for this here particular is the dawn, is the morning, or the daybreak. This is why it's daybreak, right? It's daybreak. Just like the seed. So the day just comes out of the night. Just like the plant comes out of the seed. All this is al-falaq, and this is one of the meanings of al-falaq. That everything that splits out, comes out. So he is the Lord of al-falaq, subhanahu wa ta'ala, means he is the Lord of everything that comes out. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. فالق الحب والنوى. ومنزل التوراة والإنجيل والفرقان. You were the one who revealed, who sent down the Torah and the Bible and the Furqan, the Quran. The Furqan, why it's Furqan? Because it distinguishes and it makes clear, it makes the truth clear and distinct from falsehood. يفرق بين الحق والباطل. Furqan, it separates, it distinguishes between truth and falsehood. This is Al-Furqan, which is Al-Quran. So after, and here subhanAllah we learn an amazing thing, that before you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praise Him. Praise Allah before and glorify Him before you make your request, make your dua. And this is clear in Al-Fatiha itself. In Al-Fatiha, what do you say? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. All this is a praise. You're praising Allah. All praise be to you. You're the most merciful, the most compassionate, the owner and the ruler and the judge of the day of judgment. Then you say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You alone we worship. We seek your help alone. Then what? Then you pray. Yeah, then you ask, what do you need? اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. Guide us to the straight path. Keep us in the straight path. Elevate us in the straight path. And this is the same thing. This is one of the adab and the sunnah of the dua. Always take this inshallah as a benefit from this hadith, that always when you want to make dua, don't start right away, Allahumma ghfir lana, Allah. No. First to praise Allah and thank Allah and make salah for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And at the end of your dua, do the same thing. Make salah for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and make hamd and praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And know that if you make dua and you don't make salah for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it will not be raised. Your dua will not be raised. As Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu said, and as the Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu said in authentic ahadith, that when you make dua without making salah for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it will not be raised. Sallallahu alayhi wa sayyidi ya Rasulullah. So always when you make dua, praise Allah, make salah for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then ask what you need. So he said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now he is teaching us, O Allah, you are the Lord of the heavens and the earth. You are the Lord of the magnificent throne. You are our Lord, the Lord of everything, the splitter of the grain and the fruit stones. You are the one who revealed the Torah and the Injil and the Furqan. I seek refuge with you from the evil of everything, from everything that has evil that you control. أعوذ بك, I seek refuge with you from min sharri, from the evil of min sharri kulli dhi sharrin, from the evil of everything that has evil. that you control. من شر كل ذي شر أنت آخذ بناصيته. أنت آخذ بناصيته means you are holding its forelock. الناصية, as we read in Surah Al-Alaq, الناصية is the forelock, the group of hair in the forehead, right? This is called what? Nasiya. So the Arabs, they use this term or expression, they say أخذ بناصيته. When they held or when they hold someone from his forelock, it is a metaphor of full control over this person or this thing. So when you hold someone from his forelock, this means you're controlling him. So that's a metaphor. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying, oh Allah, I seek refuge with you from the evil of everything that you're holding its forelock. Means I seek refuge with you from the evil of everything. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala controls everything.
Yes.
So I seek refuge with you from the evil of everything. And this shows you that metaphors in the language is something absolute. It is a fact. It is something you can never ever ignore. Are all creatures, or do all creatures have forelocks? What do you think? Of course not. There are many creatures, they don't even have hair. Right? So how the hadith says, everything that you hold, you're holding its forelock. So this means, this is a metaphor that, what?
For just the evil.
The evil of everything that you control.
Yes.
Means the evil of everything. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala controls everything. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I seek refuge with you from the evil of everything. أعوذ بك من شر كل ذي شر أنت آخذ بناصيتي. I seek refuge with you from the evil of everything that has evil. From everything that has evil that you control. Means from everything that has evil. Any creature that has evil and that could harm, I seek refuge with you from its harm, from its evil, from its harm, from its harm. Allahumma. Then he goes again to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is very related to the topic we're going to start about inshallah, which is the beginning. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allahumma means what? Ya Allah. Allahumma means Ya Allah, O Allah. Anta al-awwal falaysa qablaka shay. You are the first and there is nothing before you. You are the first and there is nothing before you. وأنت الآخر فليس بعدك شيء. And you are the last. You are the everlasting and there is nothing after you. What does that mean? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know that He will cause everything to die. He will cause death to everything, to every creature, even the angel of death, everything. And who will remain? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. Everything on it, everything will perish except for your Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has the glory and the majesty and the utmost honor subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything will perish except for him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he is the everlasting. And the people of Jannah, yes, they will be there forever. And the people of the hellfire, yes, they will be there forever. But by His will, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they are not everlasting independently. No, they cannot. So how will they be there forever? By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. Allah willed and wanted them to remain forever. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allahumma anta al-awwalu falaysa qablaka shay. Wa anta al-akhiru falaysa ba'daka shay. Wa anta al-zahiru falaysa fawqaka shay. Al-zahir, this is these are some of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-awwal, al-akhir, al-zahir, al-batin, and they are mentioned in surat alhadeed, as we will see now inshaAllah. Anta al-zahir. What does al-zahir mean? Anta al-zahir falaysa fawqaka shay. Al-zahir, as Imam Nawawi mentioned, rahimahullah, that he is the superior. He is the one who defeats everyone and everything. No one can take over him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one can overcome him. He's the one who overcomes everything and everyone. So he's al-zahir, subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَلَيْسَ فَوْقَكَ شَيْءٍ. There's no one above him in power. There's no one above him in power, in majesty, in greatness. He's al-zahir, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's al-ghalib. He's the one who takes, who controls, who takes over everything, who overcomes everything. No one can overcome him or take over him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other meaning, very nice meaning, is al-zahir. He is the evident. He is the manifest. فَلَيْسَ فَوْقَكَ شَيْءٍ فَلَيْسَ فَوْقَكَ فِي الظُّهُورِ شَيْءٍ. You are the most obvious, and there is no one who is more obvious than you. Means your signs that you have spread around proves your existence and make it so clear and clearer than any other thing. As the poet said, فَيَا عَجَبًا كيف يعصى الإله أم كيف يجحده الجاحد وفي كل تحريكة وتسكينة أبدا له شاهد وفي كل شيء له آية تدل على أنه واحد. Allahu Akbar. He's saying, I wonder how this Lord and how this God is being disobeyed, and how some people disbelieve in His existence, and in every movement and in every stillness there are testifiers that testify that prove His existence. وَفِي كُلِّ شَيْءٍ لَهُ آيَةٍ. And in everything He has a sign that tells you about His existence and about His oneness, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He's the evident, He's the manifest, and there's nothing more evident and more clear than Him, than His existence, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet some people disbelieve in His existence. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to guide them. فليس في ظهوره فليس فوقك شيء. أنت الظاهر فليس فوقك شيء. وأنت الباطن فليس دونك شيء. Al-Batin, despite his existence is so clear, his essence is so hidden. He's Al-Batin. His essence is so hidden that no one ever knows his essence, subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one ever knows his self. So فَلَيْسَ دُونَكَ شَيْءٍ. No one is beyond Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one is beyond Him. أنت الباطن فليس دونك شيء. So He is, subhanahu wa ta'ala, His reality, His essence, His self is unknown to anyone. Then another meaning is that He knows all the hidden things. He is the only one who knows everything that is hidden, everything that is unseen, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So as Imam Nawawi radiyallahu anhu said, حُجِبَ عَنْ خَلْقِهِ. حُجِبَ عَنْ خَلْقِهِ. He hid Himself from His creatures, subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the sense that none of his creatures knows his reality, knows his essence. We only know some of his attributes, subhanahu wa ta'ala. We only know his great signs. But his essence, we can never know and we can never comprehend. He is beyond imagination. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. There is nothing like him, and he's the all-seeing, the all-hearing, subhanahu wa ta'ala. The all-hearing, the all-seeing. So, أنت الأول فليس فوقك شيء وأنت الآخر فليس بعدك شيء وأنت الظاهر فليس فوقك شيء وأنت الباطن فليس دونك شيء. Then what does he say, sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Now he says the dua again. You see, first he praised Allah, then he made some dua. Now he praises Allah again, then he says, اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر. اقض عنا الدين. Literally it means pay off our debt. Help us to pay off our debt. But this is the literal meaning again. And Imam al-Nawawi radiallahu anh says that ad-dain is not only the debt, is not only the rights that people have over you, but it's also the rights that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has over you. So Allah, help us to fulfill your rights and your creatures' rights. Oh Allah, help us to fulfill your rights and to fulfill the rights of people. اقضي عنا الدين. Ya Allah, this is, subhanallah, this is a comprehensive dua. Comprehensive dua. This word, it encompasses everything. Everything. اقضي عنا الدين. If you take it literally, just help us to pay off the debt. No. It encompasses everything. Oh Allah, help us to fulfill your duties. Our duties towards you and our duties towards others. To fulfill the rights that you have over us and the rights that others have over us. اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر. And remove or relieve us from need. Relieve us from need. أغننا من الفقر. Make us needless, make us in no need of things. Again here, if you take it literally, means give us worldly things, right? Don't make us poor in the worldly sense. But absolutely, that's not what's meant by the hadith. Because poverty and richness in Islam is not about money, right? Our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in a very nice hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari. He said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ليس الغنى عن كثرة العرض ولكن الغنى غنى النفس. Richness is not by having a lot of properties and possessions, but it is the richness of the soul, of the self. Means what? The satisfaction. You're satisfied and pleased with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you. That's the greatest richness. And subhanallah, you see this fact in our life. You see the richest people in the worldly sense, they are poor. And they are always in need. Why? Because they always need more and they want more, so they are poor. They're always in need. But you find someone who's a Muslim and who's pleased with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him. Maybe he lives in one room, but you find him satisfied. He's rich. Allahu Akbar. ولكن الغنى غنى النفس. The richness is the richness of the soul. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who are rich in all meanings. In all meanings. So poverty, even in the worldly sense, is not encouraged in Islam at all. On the contrary, Islam never encourages us to be poor in any sense. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us rich in the worldly life, in knowledge, in morality, in the spirituality, in all sense. in all senses, in all meanings. Make us rich.
Ameen.
Ya Arhamar Rahim. What an amazing dua. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us, inshallah, to say this dua when we go to bed. I'm gonna say it, inshallah, quickly in Arabic, and I hope, inshallah, you memorize it and you start saying it and teaching it to your spouse, to your siblings, to your friends, so that, inshallah, you get the reward. Allahumma rabb as-samawati wa rabb al-ard. رب العرش العظيم. Let's say it together, inshallah, so that you get used to it. اللهم رب السماوات ورب الأرض
اللهم رب السماوات ورب الأرض
ورب العرش العظيم
ورب العرش العظيم
ربنا ورب كل شيء
ربنا ورب كل شيء
فالق الحب والنوى
فارق الحب والنوى
ومنزل التوراة والإنجيل والفرقان
وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل والفرقان
أعوذ بك من شر كل ذي شر
أعوذ بك من شر كل ذي شر
من شر كل ذي شر أنت آخذ بناصيته
من شر كل ذي شر
أنت آخذ بناصيته
أنت آخذة بناصيته
أنت آخذ بناصيته
أنت آخذة بناصيته
أنت آخذ بناصيته أنت آخذ بناصيته.
أنت آخذ بناصيته.
Why I insisted to correct it, because آخذة for females. Okay? So أنت آخذ, you're holding. And even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not a male nor a female, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond gender. Beyond gender. But the pronoun he used for himself subhanahu wa ta'ala is the masculine pronoun. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not a male, is not a female. He is beyond gender subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is nothing like him. اللهم أنت الأول فليس قبلك شيء
اللهم أنت الأول فليس قبلك
وأنت الآخر فليس بعدك شيء
وأنت الآخر فليس بعدك شيء
وأنت الظاهر فليس فوقك شيء
وأنت الظاهر فليس
وأنت الباطن فليس دونك شيء
وأنت الباطن فليس دونك شيء
اقض عنا الدين
اقضي عنا الدين
وأغننا من الفقر
وأغننا من الفقر
يا أرحم الراحمين.
آمين آمين.
قصص الأنبياء, so we say قصص means the stories of the Anbiya, of the Prophets alayhim salatu wassalam, are the best of stories. Why they're the best of stories? Because they're told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because they are the stories of who? Of the best of creatures. So they're the best of stories because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's telling us these stories. This means they're true, they're not fiction, they're not fables, right? They are incidents that took place. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us these stories of those greatest creatures so that we take the lessons. He said subhanahu wa ta'ala in the third ayah of Surah Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, نحن نقص, it is we, see subhanallah, this the beginning of this ayah, نحن نقص, it is we who are relating to you and narrating to you and telling you the best of stories. أحسن القصص, the best of stories, by revealing this Quran to you, even though before this you were of those who were unaware of it, unaware of these stories. In revealing this Quran to you, it is we who tell you the best of the stories of which you were unaware. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the stories of the best of creatures, and what is the purpose? The purpose is to take the lessons. To take the lessons from these great stories. And subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us through stories, right? So it is a great and manifest guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it's very good to teach through stories. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us through stories, right? As if subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's also guiding us that when you teach, use stories when you teach. And subhanallah, our Shaykh, may Allah reward him and elevate his status in Jannah.
Ameen, ameen.
He used to tell a lot of stories in his lectures. To the extent some people who were ignorant of the Quran, they used to say, this Shaykh, he's a storyteller. He's a storyteller. He's hakawati. He's a storyteller. But they were unaware that the Quran is full of stories. Subhanallah, when someone says something out of ignorance, may Allah protect us. It looks stupid when you're criticizing someone about doing something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him to do this thing. And why stories? Why stories? Because stories are things that are related to you. Something that is very close to you. And it's about humans who are similar to you. And the story, the narration, it fixes the information in your mind more than anything else. More than just normal telling, right? Just, what do they say? Instruction, right? It's not only instruction. No. Instruction is not the right way of teaching. Instruction is needed sometimes in certain circumstances, but one of the best ways is you teach through a story. So that the people will take the lesson from that story and the lesson will be fixed in their mind. As you will see inshallah, when we talk about the stories of those great prophets, you will remember an incident that took place with that prophet and you will remember the lesson. If we just tell you, okay, you have to be patient. Okay, you have to avoid envy. It's easy to say. But when we tell you how the brothers of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, how they envied him, and what were the consequences of their envy, it will be rooted in your mind and your heart. Right? So the lesson will be, of course, more effective in your life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the last ayah of Surah Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي قَصَصِهِمْ عِبْرَةٌ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ مَا كَانَ حَدِيثًا يُفْتَرَى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون. يلا تفضل يا شيخ. Okay.
لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب ما كان حديثا يفترى ولكن تصديق الذي بين يديه وتفصيل كل شيء وهدى ورحمة لقوم يؤمنون.
ما شاء الله, barakallah feek. Indeed, in their stories, there's a lesson for people of understanding. May Allah make us of them. You see why we're learning this? Why I started this series? This is why I started. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you there are lessons. There are lessons in these stories. It's not only for amusement. It's not for amusement at all, astaghfirullah. It's not at all for amusement. Right? Yet it has some amusement. It will amuse you in the good sense, and it will teach you, right? It will amuse you. It will give you some joy. It is nice. This is why it's a story. So you find joy in hearing it, and at the same time, you take the lesson. So the main purpose is what? To take the lesson. So he's telling you subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are lessons for people of understanding in their stories. ما كان حديثا يفترى. It is not whether the story of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam or the other stories or the Quran in general, it is not a forged story. It is not an invented tale. It is not fiction, but a confirmation of the previous scriptures and a distinct explanation of all things, and guide and mercy for the people who believe. Allahu Akbar. ما كان حديثا يفترى. It is not fiction. It is not invented tale. It's not legend. It is not myth, as the disbelievers they used to say. إن هذا وقالوا إن هذا إلا أساطير الأولين. They said, oh, this is just the stories of the old ones. These are just the myths and the legends of the old ones. No, Allah is telling us subhanahu wa ta'ala, no. ما كان حديثا يفترى. This has never been a forged story or invented tale or fiction, not at all. But it is confirmation of the previous scriptures. The Quran confirms and verifies the previous scriptures, the Torah and the Bible and the scriptures of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam and the other scriptures. And it is a distinct explanation of all things. And it is guidance and it is mercy for people who believe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among them. Before we start these amazing and blessed stories, we need to start from the beginning. What was the beginning? The beginning of this creation. The beginning of everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned it in surat alhadeed. I wanted, subhanallah, to mention one ayah in surat alhadeed, which is هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن. He is the first and He is the last. He is the manifest. He is the hidden. Means the one whose essence is unknown. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. I wanted just to read this ayah. Then when I read and I remembered the ayat, I found that the first 9 ayat of Surah Al-Hadid, they explain to you almost all what you need to know. The first 9 ayat of Surah Al-Hadid. Let's go over them inshallah, and we will inshallah read them and we'll stop at them. We will read the 9 ayat with rough interpretation and we will stop here inshallah. We'll stick to the time inshallah, will not make you late. So let's read these ayat inshallah and think, and I hope and I wish you try to learn these ayat and try to repeat them, because they explain to you almost everything you need to know. What does Surah Hadid start with? سبح لله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح لله ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. Everything in the heavens and everything in the earth declare the praises and the glory of Allah. وهو العزيز الحكيم, and He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. The Almighty means the one that everything submits to Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the All-Wise. The wise means the one who does the right thing, who never makes mistakes. He is the most perfect, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does everything for wisdom. There's a wisdom behind it. He doesn't do anything for no reason. Everything he does is by His ultimate will and through His ultimate wisdom, subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is all good. His wisdom is all good, subhanahu wa ta'ala. سبح لله ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. So everything glorifies Allah. Everything praises Allah. Everything exalts Allah, So Allah does not need us. Does not need you to sit and say some subhanallah. No, you need to do it. Everything already is praising Allah continuously. As He told us subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Isra ayah 44, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا يُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِهِ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ حَلِيمًا غَفُورًا. He's saying subhanahu wa ta'ala that everything, there is nothing except that it celebrates or praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you don't understand their tasbih. Everything makes tasbih to Allah. Everything. Living and non-living things. Everything. But we don't understand their tasbih. And when our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam held some pebbles in his hand, who knows the miracle? This miracle that's mentioned in the authentic alhadeed. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took some pebbles, what happened? They made tasbih, right? No.
What did they do?
That's not the miracle.
What did they do?
This is a misconception that some Muslims have. They say the pebbles, they made tasbih in his hands. No, that's not the miracle. The miracle is that through the blessing of the Prophet ﷺ, to show him to be a miracle for him, to him and for others to see this miracle, they heard the tasbih of the pebbles in his hands.
Subhanallah.
That's the miracle. That they were able to hear the tasbih of the pebbles in his hands, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? That's the miracle. And imagine that we hear everything, the tasbih of everything. We cannot live. If we hear the tasbih of everything, we cannot live. We cannot live. We cannot use anything. You want to eat, you want to do things, everything you hearing making tasbih, you cannot live. Allahu Akbar. See the wisdom? But He told you everything is making tasbih. But you don't understand their tasbih. So He said subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next ayah. So this is the first ayah. The next ayah, لَهُ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. To Him belongs the dominion, the sovereignty, the kingdom of the heavens and the earth. يُحْيِي وَيُمِيتُ. He gives life and He causes death. وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. And He is able to do everything. He has the power over all things. Then He said, هُوَ الْأَوَّلُ وَالْآخِرُ وَالظَّاهِرُ وَالْبَاطِنُ وَهُوَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عَلِيمٌ. He is the first and the last, the everlasting. And He's the manifest. And He's the one who has power over everything. And He's al-Batin, the one whose essence is unknown to anyone. And He's the one who knows everything that is hidden and everything that is unseen. And He knows everything. It is narrated by Imam Ahmad radiallahu anhu, and Imam Ibn Kathir mentions this hadith in his tafseer of this ayah, that it is narrated that the Prophet ﷺ used to read al-musabbihat before he sleeps. He used to read what? Al-musabbihat before he sleeps. And he said, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, there is an ayah in them, in those musabbihat, which is the surah, means the chapters of the Quran. Surah is the plural of surah. Surah, the plural surah, not surahs. Okay? Surah is singular. Surah is plural. So the surah or the chapters that start with tasbih, they are called what? Musabbihat. So the Prophet ﷺ used to read those musabbihat before he sleeps. What are those musabbihat? Some scholars, they said they are 6 surahs. Surat Al-Hadeed, Surat Al-Hashr, Surat Al-Saf, Surat Al-Jumu'ah, Surat Al-Taghabun, and Surat Al-A'la. These 6 surah starts with tasbih. Then the hadith says that the Prophet said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they have what? They are, or they have an ayah, these musabbihat, they include an ayah that is greater than 1,000 ayat.
سبحان
They have an ayah that's greater than 1,000 ayat. And some scholars, they said that this ayah is this one. هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. Some scholars, they said this is the ayah that is meant in the hadith. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض. It is He. So what did we want to mention? Why we mention these ayat? In the beginning, what was in the beginning? In the beginning and always Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was there and has been there, has always been there. Means has always existed without beginning, without anything with Him. If there has been anything with Him, then He is not the first. So the first means what? There was nothing with Him.
Yes.
Then He created things. You understand?
والذي
And the first means you don't ask who was before Him, or you don't ask who created Him, because that's a foolish question. Sorry to say this, but it is a foolish question. Why? Because as if we have a race, okay, and some people are racing, and for example, Ahmad came first. So who won the race? Ahmad. Who came first? Who came first? Ahmad. So if someone comes and you're telling him, Ahmad won the race. Ahmad came first. Then someone comes to you and tell you, who came before Ahmad?
No.
There's no one, right? He's the first.
Yeah.
Then how you're asking who's became? He's the first.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a wrong
He was
question.
always
He's the first, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then He created. What did He create, subhanahu wa ta'ala, first? As we will see in the hadith. Let's come to the hadith. We will find that first He created water. Then He created the throne. Then He created the pen. Then He created the heavens and the earth. We will come to these details inshallah. So He said here subhanahu wa ta'ala, هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في ستة أيام. It is He who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days or 6 stages. Who? It is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those people who are asking and being misled by these theories and evolution and I don't know what and accident and the chance, this ayah khalas is making it clear. It is He who created the heavens and the earth. Khalas, it's He, it's Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't waste your time, guys. You can go and search how He started the creation, how He created this heavens, how He created these heavens and this earth, how He created the universe. You can go and search as He urged us. As He urged us subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ فَانظُرُوا كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقِ كَيْفَ بَدَأَ الْخَلْقَ. Go and search and look around and see how He started the creation subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, He's urging us to go and think and reflect and search how He started the creation. But He already told you, He's the one who created subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. He could have created them in just by willing them to be, and they will be, right? By saying be, by saying kun, they will be, right? Even saying kun, for some scholars, it is a metaphor of that once He wills something, it will take place. Once Allah wills something to exist, it will exist. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش. What does that mean? Al-Arsh is the throne. Stawa ala al-Arsh simply means he has taken over everything. And he is the one who is managing the affairs of everything. The sun doesn't revolve except by his care and his permission and his power and his will. The earth, the planets, every planet in its orbit, the sun, the moon, all these galaxies, the life on earth, the life everywhere, the plants, the humans, the animals, everything is running and living and moving by his managing, subhanahu wa ta'ala. His management, his care, his will, his permission. He did not put power in something and as some people believe that Allah created the creation and he left it. As the Jews, they said Allah created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then what did he do? He took rest in the 7th day. On Saturday. So on Saturday for them, this is why they take rest on Saturday. Because they believe Allah created in 6 days, then he took rest the 7th day. So they take rest on that day. They don't know who Allah is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he said, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فِي 6 أَيَّامٍ وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ. We have never experienced any tiredness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not like us. Once he wills something, it will take place. So why he created them in 6 days? The scholars mention that he's teaching us subhanahu wa ta'ala to do things gradually. To do things gradually.
Take your time.
And there are wisdoms that we maybe we don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-wise. So ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. I'm going to read to you some translations of this sentence. Mawdudi, for example, he says, he is established on the throne of power. Another one he's saying, then established his dominion over the throne. Another one says, controlled or assumed all authority. Another one says, he is firm in power. Yusuf Ali says, he is moreover firmly established on the throne of authority. This is what istawa ala arsh means. So, he created the heavens and the earth, and thumma istawa ala al-arsh. For many scholars here, thumma means here, and he has already took over the arsh and everything below the arsh. Why? Because the arsh is the greatest creature, as we will mention. So he took over the arsh, means he's taking over everything. The arsh and everything below the arsh. Means he is the one who is managing everything. And this is a metaphor of control and full power and managing affairs. Just like when they say this prince or this king, he took over the throne of this country. It doesn't mean that he went there and he had the throne and he sat. No. It means that he is taking over now. He is running everything. Tamam? This is what this ayah means, according to the majority of scholars. ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. For some scholars, they say, also scholars of Ahl Sunnah, they say, استوى على العرش. We don't know what exactly means. Okay? But we believe that the literal meaning of this ayah, which means ascending or mounting the throne, we believe that this literal meaning doesn't apply to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond movement, beyond being in a place, beyond being limited, and beyond anything that is related to the human things or any of his creatures' attributes. He is not like anything subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they said, we understand from this ayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taking over everything, but we leave the meaning of this particular verb to Allah. We leave it to Allah. We just believe that He made istiwa ala al-arsh, and we don't get indulged in searching for the meaning of this verb, and we believe that the literal meaning of the ayah is not meant by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Imam Ibn Kathir mentioned in his tafseer, and he holds this opinion in his tafseer on the first ayah about istiwa in surat Al-A'raf. He says, we leave this to Allah, and he says that the apparent meaning that comes to the minds of the anthropomorphists, to those who liken Allah to His creatures, or to those who understand these texts literally as they understand these words in the human sense, Imam Kathir is saying this apparent meaning that comes to the minds of those people is manfiyun anillah, is not applicable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all. So, but I take the opinion of the other scholars who say, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made istiwa ala al-arsh, which is a metaphor of power, control, and managing the affairs. And I will finish this point with an example. That, for example, the fire. The fire, he's subhanahu wa ta'ala is managing everything, and He's taking care of everything, and nothing operates without His permission and His will and His power. For example, the fire cannot burn without His permission. So He did not, for example, put a power in the fire and He just left it, so the fire burns by itself. No! The fire doesn't burn except when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants it to burn. And when they threw Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam into the fire, did it burn him? قُلْنَا يَا نَارُ كُونِي بَرْدًا وَسَلَامًا عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ. We said, oh fire, be cold and safe on Ibrahim. Right? The knife doesn't cut if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want it to cut. And in some narrations, that when Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam put the knife on the neck of his son, Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam, it didn't cut. It didn't cut, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him a ram and told him that he has fulfilled the vision. So, this is what istawa ala al-arsh means. So He is subhanahu wa ta'ala the one who is managing everything. Nothing can take place without His permission and His will subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing has independent power, independent ability, not at all. Everyone, every creature is completely dependent on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض. He is the one who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Then He established Himself on the throne of power and authority. He is the one who is managing everything subhanahu wa ta'ala. يَعْلَمُ مَا يَلِجُ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَمَا يَخْرُجُ مِنْهَا. He knows what goes into the earth and what comes out of it. And He knows what descends from the heaven and what ascends to it. And He is with you wherever you are. He is with you wherever you are. Means He's watching you. He knows you wherever you are. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. Wherever you go, you need to know He's with you. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every Muslim, dear brothers, every Muslim believes that Allah is with him. Means Allah is watching him. And if you don't believe this, then you're not a Muslim. If you think that you can run away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's watching, then you're not a Muslim. But the point is that, do you feel this fact that He's with you wherever you are? This dhikr that we make is to train our hearts to feel Allah's presence with us everywhere. That Allah is present with us everywhere means He's watching us everywhere. So this dhikr, this is training. These adhkar that we say to remind you that He's watching you. And when you know He's watching you, and you know who He is, He's the most powerful, He's the most great, subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will not disobey Him, because you know He's watching you. And if you disobey Him, you will return to Him right away, and you will repent and ask Him for forgiveness right away. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ وَإِلَى اللَّهِ تُرْجَعُ الْأُمُورِ. To Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala, all affairs will be returned to Him for judgment. And all affairs return to Him for decision. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. يُولِجُ اللَّيْلَ فِي النَّهَارِ وَيُولِجُ النَّهَارَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَهُوَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ وَهُوَ عَلِيمٌ بِذَاتِ الصُّدُورِ. He causes the night to pass into the day. He merges the night into the day. And He merges the day into the night. And He knows what's in the hearts. He knows what you conceal and what you reveal. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. See these 5 ayat? They're telling you about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He's the first, He's with you, He's watching you, He created the heavens and the earth, He created the arsh, He's managing everything, controlling everything. Now He's telling you, آمنوا بالله ورسوله. So believe in Allah and His Messenger. Is not this the God that you should believe in? He's the creator, He's the sustainer, He's the Lord, He's the one who controls everything. So آمنوا بالله ورسوله. Believe in Allah and His Messenger. وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا جَعَلَكُمْ مُسْتَخْلَفِينَ فِيهِ. And spend of what He has entrusted you with. All what He has given you is a trust that He kept with you. So you should spend when He tells you to spend. Now He said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, after He told you about Himself and He told you should believe, now He's telling you, if you believe, what you will get. فَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَأَنْفَقُوا لَهُمْ أَجْرٌ كَبِيرٌ. So those among you who believe and who spend, they will have a great reward. Then He said, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the second last ayah we're going to mention, وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. How come you don't believe in Allah? Why you don't believe in Allah? وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولُ يَدْعُوكُمْ لِتُؤْمِنُوا بِرَبِّكُمْ. How come you don't believe in Allah and the Messenger is calling you to believe in your Rabb, in your Lord, in your cherisher, in your creator, in your fosterer, in your sustainer, in your maintainer. وَقَدْ أَخَذَ مِيثَاقَكُمْ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And He already took your covenant and your pledge, as we will mention inshallah later on in the details, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took a pledge and a covenant with us that we will worship Him subhanahu wa ta'ala because He's our Lord. Then He said subhanahu wa ta'ala, هو الذي ينزل على عبده آيات بينات ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور وإن الله بكم لرؤوف رحيم. It is He who sends to His slave His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ayatin bayinat, manifest and clear ayat, to bring you out of the darkness into the light, out of the different types of darkness into the light. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُمْ لَرَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. So our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam takes us out of the darkness into the light. Our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam takes us out of the darkness into the light by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's permission and by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in surat Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, right? أَنْ أَخْرِجْ قَوْمَكَ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ, right? وَذَكِّرْهُمْ بِأَيَّامِ اللَّهِ. About Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, that telling Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, bring your people out of the darkness into the light. And this is what our beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, and this is what Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam did. They took us out of the darkness into the light, out of the darkness of ignorance into the light of knowledge, out of the darkness of ignorance about the facts of this life and the facts about ourselves and the purpose of our existence, into the light, into the knowledge about all these existential questions and existential facts. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُمْ لَرَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. And Allah is definitely most kind, most compassionate, most loving, most merciful with you, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we will find, inshallah, that the main attribute about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala towards His creatures is mercy.
Allah.
And we will find that He recorded on His throne. He recorded on His throne, subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we will find and see in the hadith, inshallah. He recorded on His throne that my mercy is ahead of my punishment. My mercy is ahead of my punishment. So He's the Lord of mercy, subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Allah.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who listen to the speech and follow its best. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who glorify Him and praise Him, and those who remember Him all the time, and those who realize and feel His presence with us everywhere. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who fear Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who love Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who listen to the speech and follow its best. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us, forgive our parents, our sheikhs, those who taught us, those who have favors upon us, those who hosted us here. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them and fill this house and all of our houses with lights and with nur and with knowledge and with dhikr and with love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and with blessings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give relief to all brothers and sisters who are suffering everywhere. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us guides to others, make us guided and guides to others. وصلي اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة.
الصلاة على النبي والسلام على الرسول والأنبياء المرسلين كلهم مكرمون والآخر الختم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى.
لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب. Indeed, in their stories there is a lesson for people of understanding. May Allah make us of them.
Adam, Enoch, Noah, Hud, Saleh, Abraham, Lot, Ismail, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, Job, Jethro, Moses, Aaron, Ezekiel, David, Solomon, Elijah, Elisha, Jonah, Zachariah, John, Jesus, Muhammad. Peace be upon them all.